Winners win. I'm a winner. We're going to win.
Gators Breakdown. Because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
Oh, certainly not a dull moment to transfer portal. Retainment, getting new commits, big news. Then I got to come live. Got to come at you live in the morning time. The rare morning Gators Breakdown. Guys, let you know in the last couple episodes, the schedule's going to be crazy. My daughter's doing cheer and basketball, and there's 2 games a week, and they didn't get home until really late on Wednesday. So I was like, you know what? I'll hold off on Thursday. I'll do a Gators Breakdown Plus chat. And I was like, no, I got to bed, and I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to wake up early. I'm going to do some podcast prep, and we're going to do a morning Gators Breakdown because the news is just too big to wait. News is just too big to wait. So there we go. Jayden Woods returning to the Gators. Big time retainment there for Jon Sumrall and staff. And we got some more commits to talk about too as well through the transfer portal. One transfer from Kentucky, one from Wake Forest, and then a JUCO transfer for the staff. So lots to get into, kind of more of a reaction and letting you guys know background information on these guys. As I said, I will still do a Gators Breakdown Plus member chat tonight that we're going to try to do it around 6:45 on the Gators Breakdown Plus Discord, and that'll lead up to the college football playoff game that I want to watch. So I think kickoff's around 7:40 for that game, so we'll do about an hour chat because there's just too much news. Got to get Gator Nation's reaction to that through the Gators Breakdown Plus members, so that'll be a lot of fun. It's just been, man, the Discord's been really fun with the news the last couple of days. Jayden Ball returning, Jayden Woods returning, all these new commits through the transfer portal. So I didn't want to wait. I was like, I could do Thursday. No. Let me get up early. Do a little bit of background, a little bit of podcast prep, and then I got some time before I got to walk out of the door for the regular 9-to-5 job, and let you guys know my thoughts. Lots to get into. Good news. But I play it right before Jon Sumrall's winning quote there from his opening press conference. I'm a winner. We're going to win. But this is how you do it. We're going to get into all the storylines. But, man, exciting time right now. And I know, it's in the early stages. We're looking for things to cling on to give us hope, to give us belief. Much different approach here, paying off than what we're used to from the previous staff. So lots to get into in that regard. Everybody hit that like button for the morning Gators Breakdown. I know a little bit of a surprise. I didn't even know I was doing it until late last night. But hit that like button, leave some comments, subscribe if you don't mind, if you haven't done so yet, right here on YouTube if you're watching live, or the replay, or your favorite podcast platform. But what you waiting on? Why hadn't you subscribed yet if you're listening to this episode of Gators Breakdown? Check it in this morning. Chase Wester says, great start to the morning. Go Gators. And you guys know how it goes a lot of the time when there's some good news. But it is the morning time, so here's a sip of coffee, because you know what? The coffee tastes so good. Gary says, go Gators, chomp, chomp. Timothy checking in. Sumrall off to a hot start. DeAndre, good morning, my friend. Good morning, everybody. Carrie Lee, love a good Gators Breakdown live to get me to work. I wish I could do it more. Maybe I will. I don't know. But there is something about the morning episodes. And, just most of the time it's good news. So I don't do it often anyway, but maybe more. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Let's see. Like dog, we magnificent bastards. Gary says, Woods back, baby. True Fishing says, Dave's feeling it for sure. Bruce Green, Psycho Summerall's cooking. And then here we go. Alva, I can't put that together fast enough right here. But morning live show, love it. Everybody, thanks for checking in. Like I said, I know, kind of surprise episode, but lots to get into right here. But before we do, of course, it's college football playoff season, and you can take care of it at MyBookie if you want to get in on the action in the betting markets. The Final Four of the college football playoff is a great time to get in on all that betting action. Right there at MyBookie, Miami, 3.5-point favorite over Ole Miss, with the over-under for the game currently set at 52.5. That game is tonight. And then tomorrow on Friday, the other semifinal matchup, Indiana favored by 3.5 over Oregon, with the over-under at 48.5. So NFL playoff action as well. Get it all right there at MyBookie, your one-stop sports book and casino in one. One account, one wallet, bet football, and then spend some time in those casino games right there at MyBookie. You don't have to switch apps. You don't have to jump to another platform. Straight up action right there. And if you're new to MyBookie, if you haven't signed up yet, use our promo code Gators, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. Make your play. If it doesn't hit, you get it right back with the bet back bonus. So sign up at mybookie.ag with promo code Gators and go claim your bet back bonus. And one more time, guys, the Discord right now. I mean, updates, analysis from other members, feedback from other members. It's a lot of fun conversation right now. GatorsBreakdownPlus.com gets you access to the Discord, gets you access to ad-free episodes, all that stuff right there happening. Like I said, you can take place in the text chats that are going on right there, or the member chats, the voice chats that we have every now and then, about once a week right now. We'll do another one tonight if you want to take part, starting at $3 a month, GatorsBreakdownPlus.com. All right, let's get into the news. Jayden Woods, and look, I'm not going to lie. If you guys have kind of followed me with that one, once he entered the portal, once he visited Texas, I thought there was very little chance he was going to return to Florida. Now I knew the staff wasn't quitting on it, but I just thought once they put the name in the portal and that visit to Texas and all the look-like chips they were pushing into the table to try and get Jayden Woods, well, Florida had other plans. Jon Sumrall, the defensive staff, stayed on him. They had other plans. Nope. We're going to bring you back. When he entered the portal now, Jayden Woods became the 13th player overall, ranked player overall in the transfer portal on 3. So that lets you know how highly thought of he was. Made 3 starts in 12 games in his freshman season, earned all SEC honors, along with Vernell Brown III, by the way. I've already got both those guys back. Woods registered 28 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 3 quarterback hurries, an interception, 1 pass breakup, and a fumble recovery. Closed out the season co-leading the team with 3.5 sacks and was third on the team in tackles for loss with 5, and it had 1 interception, of course. 2 of his sacks now came in the last 2 weeks of the season. He had 1 versus Tennessee and 1 versus Florida State. So you could kind of see. You can see it. We were really high on him in the preseason. Put a lot of stock in Jayden Woods. As a true freshman, I thought he reached it. For a true freshman, these are really good numbers. PFF grade of a good 70.7 with a pass rush grade of 72.5. And like I said, you go through it and you look at the grades, put the stock in it that you want to. It's just one data point. But some of his better performances came at the likes of against Texas. Right here, one of the tougher opponents that you play. And then Tennessee and Florida State. So I really like seeing it those last 2 games because maybe as a freshman starting to click even a bit more. Now, Florida State not all that good. Tennessee was an average team. But still, for a true freshman, you like seeing it click. You like seeing the production towards the end of the season. Overall, after playing 448 snaps on the season, he was graded higher than Cam James and Tyreek Sapp. And his 70.7 grade was the 6th highest by a freshman edge player on Pro Football Focus. So you get back one of the highest young potential players and one that was among the group of the 5 players Sumrall just had to keep to send the signal that you get it. Now, look, it wasn't a death sentence if some of those guys left. All those guys left. Makes the transition a bit harder, maybe makes it a little bit slower, but it wasn't a death sentence. But to make us feel better, to keep some of this great energy early in the process and have a belief and have a better feeling, especially at the early stages, the optics of it all, Jon Sumrall just shows he gets it. Jaden Ball, check. Miles Graham, check. Vernell Brown III, check. Dallas Wilson, check. And now Jayden Woods, check. That was the group that, for Sumrall, the staff, the boosters, Florida Victorious, found the way to get it done. Such a breath of fresh air. a breath of fresh air to see a coach attack retainment like this, attack the transfer portal like this. For some of the defenses that I made of the last staff, attacking the portal wasn't one of them. From the very beginning, I said, attack the portal harder, try and turn it around faster, get more people on board. Never really happened. They relied on a slow build plan that failed. That slow build plan can work, but not in that regard. It just did not work. Get off to a faster start. You had the ability now to get off to faster starts. It's what the transfer portal offers you. Now, everybody else is doing it too. You got to be smart about it. And I think retaining these 5 players go a long way in saying he just gets it. Gets it as far as retaining players that matter the most in attacking the portal. Some of it necessity, of course, because so many guys left. Sure. And that is part of it. But you're not just hanging on to guys because of a culture, but in ways of building a roster off of young, proven production and young potential. It's hard to quantify in some ways this early. And all we really have to go on is which guys are retained, which ones we're also getting in the portal. Retaining a lot of the recruiting class that just signed. Those are markers. But at least this approach that we have seen is a breath of fresh air. It is different. Now, another angle to all of this that shows it's different, and just like on the field this past season, Florida just put it to Texas with this approach by the staff. Jaden Ball, Dallas Wilson, Jayden Woods were all predicted, all projected at some point by Texas media to enter the portal and go to Texas. It didn't happen. Ball and Wilson, they never even entered the portal. When you had guys out there from Texas media saying, yep, I expect those guys to enter the portal, then try to backtrack and lie about it because they ended up being wrong. Not on Jaden Ball. They admitted that one, but then they tried to say they meant Trey Wilson instead of Dallas Wilson when it was plainly spelled out that they meant Dallas Wilson. Never even entered the portal. And then Texas hired Jabbar Jaluk, and there was thought to be an end there to get Jaden Ball to Austin. Woods even visited Texas, pretty much handpicked by Will Muschamp. Remember, he's the defensive coordinator there now. And Jaden Woods turned it down to return to Florida. So for all the Florida won't pay, Florida isn't serious, Florida's broke, Florida's way behind, just let it play out. When I came here Sunday night, I was like, hey, we'll see what the portal holds. Now, even as recent as Sunday night, I wasn't sure about Jaden Woods. I felt good about Jaden Ball. Dallas Wilson had already made his decision. The other big in the group, but specifically about this Texas angle and the transfer portal and how it started out. A lot of visitors when we didn't get news right away. Just let it play out. Last few days have been pretty good for the Gators. As far as NIL among the elite, no. I never claimed it to be. But it's in a good spot. Has been in a good spot. Now, this was an elite move. Going 5 for 5 in that group of 5. Shoving off Texas. Proving power moves can be made. So all in all, great early moves by Jon Sumrall and company. Hopefully it sets up Florida for an easier transition on the field in year 1. All right, let's get to some more news. New transfers from Florida from the transfer portal. Jayden Woods, technically from the transfer portal since he entered, but Florida will get credit in transfer portal rankings for that. But he was still a Gator and all that, so semantics. Look at that how you want to. But technically a portal get for Florida since he entered the portal, but at the same time, he's a Gator already. So it's weird how that's going to look. But there we go. Just nice. Mr. Rake James says scheme must be gone, be tailor-made. Trying to read that for what it's worth. Hopefully, I think he just means scheme must be tailor-made. I mean, I think they had to sell scheme on Jayden Woods. I mean, you look at Josh Hines Allen there for former Kentucky player, plays for the Jaguars now. It's a player that you can sell. Well, Will Muschamp can sell a lot of guys too now from his defense, and I'm sure that's what he was trying to do at Texas. The Daily Struggle says, the boys are back in town. Let's go Gators. Marcus Gray, man, let that money bag John work. Go Gators. 120 Florida says 5-5. Gator swag coming in. Sumrall's cooking. Rich Allen says, I just wondered the cost of keeping the big three, Ball, Woods, Wilson, and if it will prevent the staff from filling any glaring holes on the roster. We'll see. I mean, it's certainly worth a good point there. Woods, Wilson, those guys are young. I think you got to pay it. Ball, I know there were some questions there because he's a running back, because you're probably only likely to get 1 year with him. I think it's worth it. We'll see. Offensive tackle is probably just going to be hard anyway, just because there's just not a lot of good ones in the transfer portal. I know that's a spot we want to see, but we'll see. I like some of the guys Florida's brought in so far, and some instant impact guys, but we'll see. Defensive tackle, maybe more of a plug there, more of a 350-pound type of guy. Maybe we'll look for there, and offensive tackle. I think that's kind of the still main spots that we see for Florida to go make some moves in the transfer portal. But let's keep it going right there with who Florida did get on Wednesday. Cam Dooley, staying in the SEC here. One of the top defensive backs in the transfer portal will be a Florida Gator. Transferring from Kentucky. Played corner there to go play safety at Florida, it looks like. Joining the Florida program with 2 years remaining. Dooley listed at 6'2", 208 pounds, good size there. The number 26 safety, number 271 overall player in the On3 transfer portal rankings. Dooley just completed his sophomore season. He recorded 29 total tackles, 20 of them being solo, and an interception in 2025. Per Kentucky Sports Radio on 3's Kentucky site, quote, he was a valuable part of the rotation at safety in 2025, logging 413 snaps in 3 starts. Dooley emerged as a starter, showed plenty of potential during the final 3 games of 2025 after Jordan Lovett suffered a season-ending injury. So looking at Cam Dooley, 413 snaps played in 2025, 69.7 PFF grade, 64.6 run defense grade, 55.8 tackling grade, 71.4 coverage grade. Now here's the kicker when you want to look at the stats. On 212 coverage snaps, targeted 10 times, allowed only 6 catches for 80 yards, no touchdowns, added 1 interception. Made 32 tackles, missed 7, played 211 snaps at free safety. 134 in the box, 62 in the slot. So he's got a mix of a player there at Kentucky. Alabama native. All 12 games he played during his freshman season in 2024, mostly on special teams. So Dooley reunited with his former Kentucky coaches, of course. Brad White at Florida, his secondary coach, Chris Collins, of course, both from Kentucky to Florida on the new staff. So I don't know why I said he played corner. We'll get into that in just a second. That's the JUCO guy. No, I got my guys mixed up for a second. Dooley played safety at Kentucky. So he's the second safety Florida's added in the portal season. And of course, he joins safety transfer G.J. Coleman. So interesting battle, I think, maybe setting up there. Now, Coleman, in his post-interviews after committing to Florida, did say, hey, they said I can play nickel, but I'm mainly going to play boundary safety. So Coleman could be the guy that doesn't really start as a home, can be certain scheme for certain opponents, certain situations where he's playing nickel, where he's playing safety, a guy that may move around. So it will be interesting to see how that plays out now about bringing in Coleman and Dooley, but it's a good problem to have. And you got to figure out Bryce Thornton back there too. So that's your 3 guys I think you're going to be looking for in the. Thornton I think is got to start the job. So, but that's the 3 guys there. I think sets you up for pretty good rotation at safety. Micah Mays, one more recruit from the transfer portal, one more commit from the transfer portal. Wide receiver from Wake Forest. 34 receptions for 520 yards over 2 seasons with the Demon Deacons. He has 2 seasons remaining as well. The number 44 receiver in the On3 industry rankings. He had 18 catches for 302 yards, 2 touchdowns during this past season. His best performance came against Florida State. Caught 5 balls for 51 yards and a touchdown. He saw action in every game as a redshirt freshman in 2024 and made 9 starts. Finished the season with 16 receptions for 218 yards, 2 touchdowns then. He redshirted in 2023. 6 foot, 290 pounds, so a big-bodied receiver there for the Gators. Gets to return to his home state, originally being from Palm Beach Gardens. He had a 56.4 PFF grade in 25, 55.7 PFF grade in 24. Lined up out wide about 75% of the time in 2025, about 83% of the time in 24. So, outside threat. This past season, 5.7 yards after the catch per reception, 4 missed tackles forced. 2024, 3.4 yards after catch per reception, 3 missed tackles forced. So, all right, now we go to the JUCO ranks. For the other commit Florida got on Wednesday, Elijah Owens. Florida went JUCO for another commit. Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College defensive back Elijah Owens. 6'3", 210 pounds. As a freshman last season, Elijah Owens, second on the team, with 65 total tackles, 45 of them being solo. 1.5 tackle for loss and an interception. Told the media, put some good film out there. I'm a big, long guy. I can cover the field and come down and tackle. So there you go. I mean, that's the type of player you like now. Obviously, coming from the JUCO ranks, a lot harder to know what type of player you're getting, how he'll transition to the, Power 5 football, SEC football, or Power 4 football, I guess I should say. Now, Corey Bender of Gators Online, he did offer this film analysis. Owens is a physical defender who diagnoses plays quickly, shows a good motor, flying around the field to stay involved, comes downhill with confidence and tackles with the intent in the open field. When he closes on ball carriers, he looks to stop momentum, limit yards after contact. His willingness to strike fits well with what Florida wants from its defensive backs, especially in run support and in contested plays near the line of scrimmage. Owen shows good discipline and awareness in coverage. He has strong acceleration coming downhill, capable north-south player when attacking the ball or supporting the run. When in position, he displays a decent vertical and can make plays on the football. He can be more consistent when turning his head to read the quarterback, but his anticipation and ability to diagnose plays are strengths that will help him adjust to the next level. Owens will need to continue improving his fluidity when flipping his hips and changing direction. Getting more explosive out of his breaks is an area he can work on as he adjusts to faster competition. He can also benefit from sinking his hips, getting lower in his back pedal to stay more balanced. At times can get a little handsy downfield, so playing cleaner in coverage will be important as officials are quicker to call that at the next level. Owens played cornerback in junior college, and while he could handle some zone coverage at that position, he does not project as a long-term cornerback at Florida. He profiles as a pure safety with a potential to play star. 6'3", 210 pounds with multiple years of eligibility. He could also transition to outside linebacker with added weight and strength. His combination of size, physicality, and awareness gives Florida flexibility and chance to use him in multiple roles. Elijah Owens brings toughness, athleticism, and experience to Florida's secondary. He may need to refine his technique and increase explosiveness, but his physical style and versatility could allow him to see the field sooner than later. Owens' skill set gives the Gators multiple options in the defensive backfield and the potential to make an impact in a variety of roles. So just talked about safety, the options you have there with Coleman, with Dooley, and now going JUCO route here, Elijah Owens, at least maybe early on, throw him into the mix of safety as well. So hopefully raises the level there. I know Alfonso Allen re-signed as well for the Gators, who I thought, at least in run support, showed, I thought, great run support in his role for Florida's defense at safety this past season. So there's your options at safety. Let's say Bryce Thornton returning as well. Aaron Gates left. Jordan Castell left. I mean, Aaron Gates more of a nickel, of course. But there's your options. How Florida works all that out, I mean, like I said, it's a good problem to have when you think you have a battle to be set up. Now, I guess see how these guys transition to Florida as well. Just because, highly ranked in the portal doesn't necessarily mean much, but Florida got 2 good safeties in Coleman and Dooley through the transfer portal. one with the JUCO route, which you got to make a little more projection here, of course. So interesting to see how it all goes. But you could tell there was a plan, well, mainly because of some guys you lost through the transfer portal, of course. But Jordan Castell wasn't retained. I'm sure there was a conversation there of how does he fit. I mean, I think he ended up going to Kentucky, so pretty much just traded guys in the defensive backfield with Kentucky here. See how it goes. I mean, as far as pure play goes, I don't think we're losing sleep over losing Jordan Castell. And I know I've seen a lot of you put out there, and hard to disagree with, well, the floor was pretty low there. So I think you'd at least know you're probably getting at least a repeat of what Jordan Castell could provide. Now, this is a completely different defense. So I hold back a little bit when you want to compare past players. Now, if it was the same staff and the same defense, sure, it means a lot more. But now there's a new staff. You got Jon Sumrall and you got Brad White coming in. So you got new staff, new assistants, and new players. It's hard to say, well, if he can just be better than Jordan Castell. Overall, sure, but it's not apples to apples when we're looking at it because there's so much change. All right, let me get a couple comments in here, and then got to call it, get the episode ready for everybody else on the audio side. But everybody, thanks for hopping in live right here. Swagadelic, Gators Breakdown Plus member right there. Urgency in week 1 of the portal is a good sign. Last staff didn't optimize portal opportunities. For sure. Like I said, breath of fresh air. Cook the Crook says, anyone else you think Coach Jon Sumrall retains? I know it hasn't come out yet. I think Florida's good with Ben Hanks. Now, you asked me, so I'm trying to think off the top of my head from guys we haven't heard from. Brendan Bett, I think he'll be fine for retaining as well, so it gives you some more beef up front. Look, I know there was some issues about what Brendan Bett did personally and some of the fouls and what spitting on somebody and stuff that was in the USF game, helping them out. I thought was a good player there for Florida on that defensive line, so I'm hoping he takes another jump as a young player. Who else? Brian Taylor, maybe another defensive lineman Florida brings back. So off the top of my head, those are the 3 guys I'm thinking of. If there's anybody else, maybe. You guys can remind me. But those are the 3 that pop in my head immediately. Gator 27, I want that West Virginia wide receiver. Yeah, I'm probably going to talk more about some of the other targets and visits coming up tonight on the chat. So, but yeah, I feel you there. It's a little proven player right there. And Brian 4921 says, "Go Gators, retaining the Big 5." Absolutely, that is the Big 5. Brian Davis says, "What about Ty Jackson?" Yeah, I think he's coming back as well. So I think the guys, as far as the names that have been on the roster that we haven't really heard from, I think Florida's sitting pretty good with those guys. Why hasn't it come out yet? I don't really know. But from everything I can gather, especially from the ones I did mention, I know it looks good on those guys returning and being retained. Ty Jackson, I'm assuming as well. Levi D says, "Coffee with Dave." Man, you just read my mind. I was sitting here looking at it and been talking. Hadn't really got it, but here's another sip. It tastes good. Now I've been getting this new creamer, and I don't usually drink my coffee with that much creamer, so don't. If you see the coffee on the screen, don't be shouting me out by saying I got too much creamer or something in my coffee. I can't balance it right. It's a new one. I know most of you say, "Why are you using creamer anyway?" I just do. But there we go. Coffee tasted good this morning. All this good news right here for the Gators. Hopefully, a good sign for things to come under Jon Sumrall. Hopefully, it translates to victories on the field in year 1 and beyond, of course. But I think as far as early steps in the process, the foundation of getting it all started looking good right now for Jon Sumrall, getting this thing kicked off for the Gators. We'll see. A couple more needs, of course, we all think we need along the transfer portal. I say right now in a good spot. been good. We know there's a lot more spots to fill. We'll see where it all goes. I mean, there's a lot more of this to – we're still in the first week of the transfer portal. We know there's a lot more visits still happening and targets out there. So we'll see where it goes for the Gators in the coming days and coming weeks. That'll do it for this shorter episode of Gators Breakdown, just to kind of get the reaction out there, getting you guys caught up a little bit more. More reaction, more analysis with the Gators Breakdown Plus member chat on Thursday evening. So, all right, everybody out there, guys and girls, thank you for joining me on this episode, this morning episode of Gators Breakdown.